Hi, this is Joe Chambers from Chambers Custom Pistols and 1911 University, bringing you another mathematical review. This time it's of a bone stock pistol that you can buy at pretty much any of your local gun stores. We're going to call this review Island of Rocks 45. This is the gun that I've done a mathematical review on this time, and it is a 45 auto GI sized pistol. Very basic, pretty plain. It's got a Novak style rear sight, ambi safeties, beaver tail grip safety, commander style hammer, bushing barrel. It's got a checkered mainspring housing. It's got rubber grips. Really a no frills gun, folks. These retail for around $595. And what you're going to see in this review as we go through the numbers on this gun is that the math don't lie. This gun is a really good value if you're looking for, you know, a gun that could be maybe improved upon a little bit, or you just want a weekly banger where you're just going to go to the range and shoot some rounds and get some practice. The parts in this gun appear to be really well made. I know the guy personally who is the chief gunsmith for this particular company, and he pays attention. He follows me and a couple of other guys that really know what we're talking about, and he pays attention, and he's incorporated a lot of the things that I've talked about over the years into these guns from this particular company. And you know, I'm happy to see that, because it has improved the breed of these guns a lot. It's improved the reliability of them. It's improved the overall function of the guns. So yeah, keep in mind that this is a sample of one. This gun has about 200 rounds through it currently. It's basically brand new. A friend of mine bought it and wanted it, and so he bought it and brought it to me. I'm going to do a little trigger job to it and slick it up a little bit, but other than that, you know, it's a pretty plain Jane gun. And I will say, I own two Rock Islands from years and years ago, and this one is much better well made than either one of those were. And they were fine guns for the time. You know, they were $280, $300 guns. This is a really fine gun. So let's get into the numbers, and remember, math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi. All right, so measurements with CCP standards. In parentheses, you guys have read the white paper. Those of you who are on my Patreon page, that's 1911 University, you've had a chance to read all these numbers and digest them. Many of you have left comments to me that, wow, that's, you know, better than X brand or better than Y brand that you've reviewed. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The math on this gun is straightforward. You know, it's got a bushing barrel with the standard setup up front, just like a GI. And the tolerance difference between the barrel and the bushing is 3 thousandths. The slide to bushing fit is a little bit, you know, bigger than I would personally want, which is right at 4.5 thousandths. It can be turned with the fingers, but that's not something that you wouldn't expect from a factory GI gun. The bushing doesn't move fore and aft in the slide at all, which is great. The barrel hood to breech face gap is 5 thousandths. We really want 1 thousandths, but again, it's a factory mass-produced sub $600 gun. The slide stop pinhole to slide stop diameter difference is 1 thousandths, which is great. They use a 200 thousandth slide stop pin. And a lot of you have asked me, well, are these MIM parts or these billet parts? Or I don't know about some of them, to be totally honest with you. I'm not familiar with what this particular company is doing for their parts manufacturing. I can tell you that some of the parts are MIM, and they're done very well. You know, I have not been a proponent of MIM vocally and publicly in the past, mostly because what you see in MIM parts today is garbage. But there are a few companies out there like Ruger, apparently Rock Island, who have done a very good job of making MIM parts that are of quality. And you know, time will tell whether or not they hold up. But the slide stop to frame pinhole diameter is perfect. It's better than any of the custom guns that I've reviewed so far. The extractor length is 2.248, and of course we shoot for one that measures between 2.245 and 2.250, so it's right there. The hook nose is just a little bit long, but that's easily adjustable. There's approximately 3 thousandths movement fore and aft of the extractor, which indicates that the firing pin plate is a drop-in looser part, and of course it is. The ejector is 1 inch long exactly. It's not quite a GI length. It's a little bit longer than that, but it's not quite as long as we want them on a custom gun that we build ourselves. Still, it ejects and extracts fine. No issues there when I test fired this gun. The slide stop link hole for the slide stop hole for the link measures at 0.209, which is right on the money again. The barrel fit of the legs to the slide stop really surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. It had 20% and 50% respectively, which is really, really good for a $600 gun. You know, do we shoot for better than that here ourselves? Absolutely. But if you can get, you know, any kind of touch at all on a factory gun, that's fabulous. For a gun that's sub 600 bucks to have 50% on one side and 20% on the other, that's really quite good. And I suspect that a bushing fit to this barrel would probably tighten that up even better to where you had 50-50 or maybe even 50-75. The barrel leg to link bridge thickness difference in tolerance is only 3 thousandths, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. The slide to frame fit, this is where it gets really interesting because, you know, I've reviewed some very, very expensive custom guns, and I have 2 that I'm doing reviews and videos on now that are extremely expensive, and they always really, really get sloppy with the slide to frame fit. This gun right here is better than all of the semi-customs and customs that I've reviewed so far. The side-to-side tolerance is 2 thousandths. Now, those of you who follow me know that we aim on a carbon steel gun for 0.2 of a thousandths. That's 0.0002. And this gun falls in the 0.002 range. Okay, that's all right. This is a mass-produced gun. They produce tens of thousands of these. So for the point of the matter that they have a tighter tolerance than all of the semi-customs and all of the full customs that I've reviewed from other makers, that's quite exceptional. The up and down has a total of 9 3/4. You want a total of, we personally shoot for a total of 4, 2 and 2. So this one has 5 and 4 3/4 respectively. So it's double what we normally shoot for. But again, folks, you have to keep in mind that this gun, they're producing tens of thousands of these. And so for them to be able to hold that kind of tolerance for under $600 is amazing. It's a great value. The frame vertical impact surface is 0.345 and the barrel measures 337. So it's a little overcut there. It does have contact, I've checked it. That's due to the link, the way it's set up. So it's all good. The trigger parts, this is why the gun came into me. The trigger pull measures 5 pounds on an NRA scale. It's a little heavy, but you know, they're doing that for liability reasons. It's got a 23-pound mainspring. The Disco's unmodified drop-in part at 1.296, which is within specs. The Sears and unmodified drop-in part measuring 779.5, which is on the high end of the specs, so that's great. The hammer hooks are dressed for over travel bump, and they measure at 19 thousandths. Again, that's fabulous. So think about this. Here's a sub $600 gun that, again, it has better tolerances than all of the semi-custom and full custom guns that I've reviewed. I'm not saying it's better overall as a gun. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for the price point, it has better tolerances. And so there is something to be said for that. As for me, if I was looking for a base model 45 and on the cheap, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, I would absolutely consider one of these. And with a little bit of cash tossed at it for a trigger job, and maybe you know, an RDSM plate, so that you could have a red dot optic, you're in the game with a decent pistol that you can do work with. So that's it for this gun. Again, my name is Joe Chambers with Chambers Custom and 1911 University. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all at chamberscustom.com, or you can find us on Patreon at 1911 University if you like the content and you want to see more of it. Thank you and have a nice day.